This is the video that I'm referencing on Twitter that I think, I don't know, maybe I'm responding negatively, but I thought was misinterpreted. And it says here, Germany's response to migrant knife attacks on hospital staff, and I guess they're saying in self-defense courses using a pillowcase. Now, a pillowcase obviously is a flexible weapon, all right? A sheet's a flexible weapon. Your t-shirt is a flexible weapon, right? It can be, right? And it's quite viable against pretty much any attacker, to be honest. But somebody with a knife, a syringe, a scalpel, a box cutter, the edge of a broken plate, a broken bottle, anything that's sharp. And what they're doing, I'll play this. There's no volume, but he's there's note. Well, here's a couple of things to note. Even the person that is supposed to be the knife wielding attacker has to shield their face, right? Getting popped in the head or the eyes with even that first shot, look like it's like ouch, right? And again, mind you, the way I would demo this is you got to have somebody who's the training partner who's like the really aggressive, right? There's really you got to put some reality in it, right? Just standing there trying to charge like that, like she's charging. I believe that's a she. No, 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 no. You can attack the weapon hand, especially if the flail, the flexible flail that you're using is weighted or wet. But this technique is quite viable. Popping somebody in the head, popping somebody in the eyes with the towel or the pillowcase, does work. Now, I would, you can also take your towel or your shirt or your pants or your jacket and wrap it around your arms. Because a lot of defensive wounds are you trying not to get stabbed in the face, not trying to get stabbed in the neck, not trying to get stabbed in the heart or the stomach, right? And so you're using your arms to protect yourself. Well, you can pad your arm with your jacket or your coat or your pillowcase as a shield, right? There's not any specific thing that I could share at the moment, but it's quite viable. The person now has to cut through layers of clothing. There's a term in a tool in Filipino martial arts called arnis, which is also a term for Filipino martial arts Kali Eskrima arnis. But you're wearing kind of a leather gauntlet on your arm, and a thick leather gauntlet, and that's to keep you from, getting cut viciously. So again, I'm going to show some more technique in answer to a comment on my previous video, but this is the video I'm referring to nonetheless, just so that there's context. Alright, so this is an addendum to the earlier video I made about just kind of an introduction of how flexible weapons could be used. Clothing, for example, could be used, and you will see a majority of these flexible systems within the Filipino Indonesian martial arts. Okay, that would be sarong, chain, whip, belt. You'll see them in Chinese martial arts with the meteor hammer, the rope dart, I can't remember, but it's the flexible sword or the rope chain, or not the rope chain, but yeah, if you know what I'm talking about. And then I believe in the Korean martial arts, because back in the ancient days, you couldn't enter the palace with a weapon, your sword or whatever. And so the Imperial Guard used their sashes to bind people up the elite guard defended the Imperial court with just flexible weapons, my understanding is. And then in Japanese martial arts, there's Hojo Jutsu, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and that is basically the way of binding. So during the Edo period, the Tokugawa period, when there was a lot of Ronin around, there was no more Sengoku Jidai, there was no more civil war. there became the police force, and they had their truncheons that had the little the hook on the end. I forget what they're called, but they were basically sword binders. You know, you could do apply pressure points because they were a big piece of metal. But they could use the when they apprehended a criminal or a suspect or subject or whomever, they would untie some rope and be able to bind them. Metal was of a premium back then in Japan. You know, so a lot of things were tied. So the Japanese culture has a very long, sophisticated history on binding and tying. All right, so flexible weaponry is in many different cultures, and as esoteric as it is, I enjoy it because it's non-assuming. It's powerful. It does take a lot of flight time, a lot of training, but it is very deceiving, and it's quite formidable and powerful if and when you know how to use it. So thank you for that. I got a comment on my previous video asking, you know, well, I mentioned something about the silliness of how people are wearing their scarves. Well, when you're aware, it's hard. Once you know something, it's hard to unknow it. Okay. And my girlfriend, bless her heart, 10 years ago when we met, made me this infinity scarf. She knitted it, and I like it. I enjoy it. I find it quite versatile because based on what I showed you the other day, yesterday, basically, what do we have here? I have a flexible weapon, right? And as I explained before, I could wear this around my neck. Now, there's some pros and cons to that. There's counters to that. But, you know, I generally wear it around my neck. Yes, somebody could pull it if they want to their detriment, right? Oftentimes I'll take the infinity and wear it like a hood to kind of cover my head like this, or I can kind of cover my face like that to protect myself, or I can just kind of loop it over my neck if I want to cover my neck like that and not have it so much of a target. Okay, now the thing that I'm talking about is, again, with my sarong here, because that's actually black on black. I want some contrast because I know the lighting in my living space isn't the best, unfortunately. It's hard to train the things that I train in a society or in a building where people are so easily frightened and not curious, right? Well, what is that? What are you doing? You know, because of course I'm not running around trying to stab nobody, but whatever. People just, I'm sorry, I digress. Anyways, forgive my lighting. So there's a couple of ways you can wear this. Again, this is like my infinity scarf. In Filipino martial arts, you can wear it like a sash. This actually becomes a pocket. Okay, like I said, you can put things in it, and then you can take it off your head, and now you know you have a weapon, right? A flexible weapon. There's a way that you can wear it around your body, and the way that they wrap it details where you're from, whether you're from Indonesia, what's different parts of Indonesia. And then you can take that off and deploy it, right? Then like I said, there's this method where I'm just kind of holding it, and this becomes a flail, all right? All right, a flail, if you don't know, basically what nunchucks are flails. The Okinawan martial arts are full of farm implement weaponry. We know about tonfas, we know about the bow staff, we know about sais, we know about nunchucks, which are flails. The boat oar is another one, and that's how you dehusk the rice, all right, or beat something in the farm. But then it also becomes, you know, the nunchuck thing, right? So anyways, this becomes a flail. Now, because of the loop that I have here, all right, I can take this, and then this is why I say it would be nice to have a training partner, but my training partner is going to be my kind of my annoying lamp, so sorry about the glare. Hopefully you can see this. But basically, because this is open, okay, it's a loop, I can take this and I can wrap this around, grab the other end of somebody's throat, and it becomes a noose. You see this? My lamp is, you know, frail, but it's a loop now. It's a noose. And there's all kinds of takedowns that I can do, and step on their neck, you know, step on their head, and constrict the person, right? I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, I'm just saying from a law, self-defense standpoint, you know, that's probably not the best way to go, but it exists. Okay, so again, you know, I can swing this around somebody's head, grab the other end, and then do a takedown, and you know, there's that noose, or even standing, you know, I can constrict like that. Okay, hopefully you can see that, right? Now that you're aware of that, what I don't like to see, here's a regular old scarf, okay, and I don't have too many of these types, right? What you metrosexuals out there wearing your scarf like this because you think it's cute, to me, that's a noose. Bow ties, if you're tying a bow tie, that's a noose, the corporate noose. You understand? So that's why this is not the way to go. There's other ways you can wrap your scarf to protect your neck. Now, there's a double-edged sword to this, because now that you are aware, and I'm showing this and it's on the YouTubes, you know, now what I don't want to have happen is people, some deranged, mentally ill, so-and-so going around, the unsuspecting people who haven't seen this video are not aware that they're walking around with a noose, even though it's cold, around their neck, going around choking people out. That's the double-edged sword with the martial arts, right? And you have to be careful with the whole, you know, dim mak, death touch sort of thing. Let me show you the dim mak and put it out in the public, you know, because now you got these deranged, mentally ill people running around. Let me try my dim mak on people. Will it exist or not? Okay. So now that you've seen this video, and to answer that person's question, yes, no. Now, even just again, to reiterate, even though this is open-ended, that doesn't mean that this cannot be still used, you know, as a binding or wrapping type of weapon. All right? Your scarf, your strap, you know, your purse strap, all right, your belt, right? It also could be used as a tourniquet if somebody's, you know, got an injury and they're bleeding out, all right, to help save lives. So there's much more to this. I've been privileged enough to be exposed to many different martial arts, many different systems. Guru Dan is specifically my instructor, Rick Fay. Every time I was lucky enough to see Guru Dan twice a year in seminars, which was kind of a requirement for instructors. And every time I was always interested in the Sarong work that he had, because I saw, and I was working the bar a lot as a bouncer for many years. You know, that was my thing. It was a career thing, and I saw the usefulness of it. Right? Yeah, I'm always armed. You know, you go through security and, you know, oh, give me your blades and your knives and, you know, what is this? This is a weapon of some sort, and we'll put it in the tray. Yeah, well, you know, at least I got my belt. At least I can take off my shirt. You understand? So if you study the flexible martial arts, flexible weaponry within the martial arts, you'll never really be unarmed, but you have to train it. Right? I have to emphasize that. It's not something you're going to just, you know, oh, I saw this on this channel and let me go around wrapping people around the throat with it, because you're liable to get hurt. You're liable to hurt somebody unintentionally. But again, this is an answer to a comment from a previous video that was an answer to another video that I saw that I think people really didn't understand what was being taught in that video and how viable it actually was in a real circumstance. All right, so this is just some short clips of the late Herman Suwanda of Mande Munda Silat. I've been to a few of his seminars. Unfortunately, he passed away in Germany. And this is a DVD of his under the Harimau, which I believe means tiger, Harimau system of Silat. Silat is an Indonesian martial art, very similar to Kali.
I don't wear the sarong this way, but I'm wearing it like this. So,
again, this clip is just for educational purposes.
So you cannot see anything. So you control it well. Break it, put it down to the ground. I have no choice there. So, but the important is where you start. You start like this. You start like that, or you start this way. Yeah? Yeah. See?
Okay, just like I was saying, again, this whole video, this DVD is showing the ways that his system of Indonesian martial art of Silat uses the Sarong, which his training partner, which I believe is his brother, is wearing. Okay, so they wear the Sarong in Indonesia and parts of the Philippines, etc., etc. Okay, in this segment, I'm just showing Guru Suzzan Spezzano, who's under the Kali-JKD umbrella. She's an instructor, and she's in this DVD. She's specializing specifically in the Madjapahit Silat, from Indonesia, the Madjapahit Empire. There's nuances within this Silat that is different than Mandemunda Silat that I showed you before of the late Pendekar Herman Suwanda was showing his Sarong techniques. In this particular DVD series, she's showing as a bonus how to use an ikat, which is a handkerchief used to wrap around to keep basically a belt for your sarong. The ikat also is known as the trapo. Or a bandana, all right? And so just showing you, in wintertime you could use your scarf the same way that she's using it here. However, you're not going to get it all just watching one single DVD or video or move. You have to find a competent instructor within that system or style. So anyways, here's Guru Suzzan. Okay, so again, these are just different techniques, basically similar to the double wrap, but you have your hands open, all right? And then lastly, I'm going to show you a clip of Guru Dan, and this is answering specifically how you might deal with a bladed attacker. Okay, in this next clip, this last clip, and again, this is fair use. I'm just sharing this for educational purposes. So, so you know where I'm getting this information from. I'm not making this up. Although I have not, this is Guru Dan Balicki. He's got a very nice Fighting Sarong DVD set, which is my go-to. And I have never trained with him, but guess what? He's the son-in-law of Guru Dan Asano, who I have trained with, and I'm an instructor under, right? And his wife, Diana, is a great martial artist in and of her own self. And if you are into Star Wars, she recently got a big break as playing the arch nemesis in the recent Ahsoka series. So that's like a big deal for her. She's been kind of an actress for a long time. So anyways, in this particular clip I'm about to share, in his DVD series, he's specifically sharing, ways of how you would deal with a knife-wielding attacker, which is prompting kind of this whole flexible weapon diatribe I'm going on.
We're going to have Bobby come in. He's got the weapon. Now, first off, I would run. You know that, right? I'm showing you a martial art technique. It's still good to train things that are really hard. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you shouldn't train it. In my belief, you should train it more. Okay, so Bob comes in, he's going to thrust the 5. When he thrusts the 5, they dive this hand in right like this. So they go 1, and then watch your face, Bobby. They go right like that. That's the first ejection. Grab on your neck, please. See, a lot of times it's designed to shoot the blade back at the opponent's face. So like I said, this is still risky. They go 1, and they lift it. See the strap? I don't know if you can come in and see that, but right there, see it? It just shoots right back at the face.
Okay, again, I don't want to plagiarize or copyright Guru Balicki's material. I'll put the link below where you can get them DVDs for yourself. However, again, these are my citations, right? There's a lot of, I don't know, since the internet, there's everybody and their mama's a martial artist. Everybody and their mama's got some information to share, which I guess some of it's viable, some of it isn't. I'm just showing you my footnotes. I'm showing you my citations as it relates. So I'm just not pulling this stuff out of the air. This is a whole broad spectrum of the martial arts. Within the martial arts that would take. Would again have its own DVD. His DVD series, Guru Balicki's series is 2 DVDs, right? It's it's a volume, 2 volumes, right? There's a lot of information to cover. So, anyways, hopefully this concludes a little bit of this. We'll go into a little bit of this. There's just so much to share, and again, I hope you got something out of it. And the references also will be below. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.